So my name's Becky, and I'm a communication studies major, a senior. And I started doing the research of humor about 1.5 years ago when I needed to justify my excessive viewing of The Office. So I started looking at connectedness, which is a really fancy word for just how we hear and see one another. And there was this really, really interesting role that humor played, and I really, really wanted to dive into, because humor engages our ability to play with one another. So when they asked me to talk on something with conflict, I kept thinking back to the time that I spent in high school, in our school musicals. So my high school, it was like a big deal if you were in the school musical, because we were pretty good. So in 7th grade, I tried out for The Wizard of Oz, and I got chorus. Pardon my throat, I don't know. It's like an Emma Stone thing. So if you are not familiar with high school theater language, chorus is essentially, we called your mom and she said that you would be able to show up on performance nights. And I was so determined to not be in chorus by the time I finished high school. So I started building my musical resume, and it looked kind of like this. 8th grade, chorus. 9th grade, chorus. 10th grade, chorus. 11th grade, didn't have a musical. 12th grade was my year. And then I got chorus. See, I didn't want like a leading lady or anything, like I know that I'm not that person. I just wanted a funny sidekick role, that's all I wanted, and I didn't get it. But what I did get was Ethel Toffelmeyer in Meredith Willson's The Music Man. And Ethel had 3 lines. 3 lines the directors felt would be really important to have a microphone. I felt like Meredith's script was very well put together, but Ethel deserved some more screen time. So I thought those 3 lines might sound better as a lofty 12. And I just made it up the whole show. Most of the directors still don't talk to me to this day. And that's kind of where I first learned what improv was. So I came out here. I came out here about 3 years ago for school. I'm from Ohio originally. And I started studying improv and sketch comedy in Los Angeles. And there's 2 main rules to improv, if no one has ever told you. The first rule is never say no, and the second rule is listen to your partner, which I know when we've been in a conference on conflict, many of you are very well-educated people and you know where I'm going with this, but just allow me to verbally process this out for a second. So, rule number 1, never say no. It could also be translated as yes and. So I say yes to my partner on stage, and I say and because I contribute something. I was talking to a friend a couple weeks ago, and he's a barista in the Arts District downtown. And he's 6'7", and he always hears these jokes about how tall he is. And I asked him like if it bothered him that he kept hearing these jokes all the time. And he said no. He's heard it hundreds of times throughout the day, but for some reason it didn't bother him. So I kept asking why it didn't bother him. And he said the moment that I deny somebody that joke, the moment I deny them that moment of connection, is the moment that I deny them a piece of their humanity. And I kept thinking like, oh, maybe that's where they got the yes and rule. Because we deny people a little bit of their humanity when we keep telling them no. The second rule of improv is listening to your partner, which is pretty self-explanatory. You don't want to let your partner go out on stage and then bomb because you were off on your own little agenda. So kind of these 2 rules together, I think, make a case for the reason why we are empathetic people. I spent the past few days with my newest nephew, Hunter, and he's about 3 months old. And I spend like 20 minutes trying to like make him laugh. Like, I am very dedicated to making him laugh. I will use funny noises and weird voices, and I've never been really so dedicated to anything in my life except for those 20 minutes with my new nephew. And I kept thinking, like, we all do that though, right? Like, we all spend time trying to make a baby laugh because it's the only point of connection we have with them. We know we got through to them if we can make them laugh. And that's when I thought humor was pretty cool. That God designed us to laugh with one another, and that's how we make human connections. The funny thing is I think we've kind of used humor to rob one another of our humanity a little bit. I think we've also done the same thing with empathy. I think it's because we don't have a clear definition for it. So I think and I believe that empathy is not just hearing the story of another person, but it's having the courage to step inside the story and to change their ending. Because I think we've gotten really, really bad at listening to our partner, especially in this world of conflict. Because we really care about our agenda and what our story is, and life, as cheesy and as messed up as it sounds, like life is, we're just making it up. It's like one big improv sketch. So we have to say yes, we have to contribute, and we have to listen.
Biola University offers a variety of biblically centered degree programs, ranging from business to ministry to the arts and sciences. Visit biola.edu to find out how Biola could make a difference in your life.